China just warned other countries to not make deals with the US, and obviously you see that the S&P 500 is dropping, the VIX is rising, but ultimately we got let down hard yesterday with the 420 date. And I want to talk about it, and I want to kind of cover some things because I just remapped it out, kind of seeing where we're at, because that was a big letdown that we didn't get anything for 420, but that's not to say that we're not going to get anything pretty soon, and I think the market's giving us some signs. Overall, watch till the end of the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on. Let's get into it, guys. Yeah, tough market. The Magnificent 7 is bleeding. The S&P 500 is down 3%, trading at 509.90. Now, last night on the Top 1 futures account that I have linked in the description for 50% off with code LOTTO, I entered a sell order, a sell limit, where I thought would be a liquidity grab zone, and I went to sleep. Now, this is a very dumb idea, but I was up about 6 grand when I woke up, so that is a beautiful thing to see. Now, again, you don't take that exact payout on the sim funded account until you get to an actual live account. So I just wanted to put that out there. I want to point out the 2-hour chart very briefly before we get into GameStop and what is going to happen next. First of all, we got this little liquidity grab up here because you can see the actual resistance on the SPY right around 542. Then we came down and we have been testing this order block, which we wicked down to back here Thursday, April 10th. So we are retesting this order block right here. If we fail this zone, SPY is coming sub 500 in my opinion, right down to 497, then possibly 487.35, and then after that, lower, breaking that relative low. Also, if we come and we test this double bottom at 487, you're likely to break that double bottom in my personal opinion. VIX also up 18.5%. Now coming into the weekend, Discord members, we had VIX calls and SPY puts, and would you look at that? Those are beautiful things that played out. Now we had a YOLO update 311 days ago, right? 420 minus 409 comes out to 311, which is June 13th. I think Roaring Kitty would have made a masterpiece, and we were supposed to get a YOLO update from him. But here's where I think we went a little bit wrong, okay? If we look at the SPY right now, Roaring Kitty was giving us obvious hints. He said right here, it's time to crash. The SPY did hit a high, an all-time high right here. He said, hey, it's time to crash. He posted the time video. You come down the line, right? Then he said, hey, this is a gift. We got this little bounce. This is a gift. We started bleeding off even more. And then he posts right here. He says, give it to me, baby, right? January 1st. This is beautiful. Give it to me, baby. This is the beginning of the crash. And then things kind of reversed and we saw another somewhat high, but ultimately just a time waster where the SPY was trading between 600 and 613, and it was just kind of chopping. And Roaring Kitty, right after it came to this all-time high, back to the relative high when he said time to crash, he says, you know, fine, right? Fine, I'll wait. That's what he says. I'll wait as long as it takes. And he posted that meme, and we haven't heard from him since. Now we are sitting in this crash, and I do think it would have been his masterpiece, but I do think the timeline was a little bit off, and that's probably why we didn't get a YOLO yesterday, unfortunately. Now, I'm going to say right now the Roaring Kitty did see something, and I'm going to explain it. But right now, the US dollar index has reached pretty significant lows. Since March of 2022, we haven't seen these lows. Now, back in before the 2021 run, the quote-unquote sneeze or short squeeze with AMC and GameStop, the US dollar has hit its lows right around January 6, 2021. Then following that, January 26th to 28th, we hit the all-time highs. And that is when we finally bottomed out on the US dollar. Is that about to happen? I think it's very close to happening. And we'll get into what will trigger this in a second. But GameStop is at $25.90, down 3%. I will say it was holding up a lot better compared to the SPY, and has been holding up a lot better compared to the SPY comparatively, right? Kind of creating this inverse S&P 500. While everything's bleeding, you see GameStop being like one of the only stocks in the market closing green or closing flat, or even maybe just way less red. Okay, with that being said, I do want to point out a couple of things. From, let's take a look at the S&P 500 real quick. From the January 26th, okay, to January 29th, when the SPY dropped 4.5% in 2021, what did GameStop do? From that date, we ran from $20 to $125. Obviously, this is after all the split adjustments, but it was up to like 500. Okay. What I'm trying to say here is that they're starting to trade inverse. GameStop starting to hold up well. There is now a bull case here, and I do think we are very close, even though we didn't get an announcement yesterday. I know it was a huge letdown, but I see this as a more buying opportunity, more of a better buying opportunity, in my personal opinion. I know a lot of people are probably aggravated with that. Obviously, I am too. But again, I just think we were just slightly early and it wasn't ready yet. And this is a buying opportunity. In fact, I have some friends who wanted to get in, but they didn't have time or their cash didn't settle or something along the lines of that. And now they can. Okay, so I just want to point that out there. And I think Roaring Kitty obviously saw something, right? What did he see? Well, USD JPY is still selling off. In fact, it's testing critical support. We have, on top of that, Japan's prime minister says Japan won't just keep conceding in U.S. tariff talks. If Japan concedes everything, we won't be able to secure our national interests. That's just a little sprinkle on top of some economic news. But we go over and we see gold, right? Gold is up another 2.7%, $3,400. Okay, these things aren't, I mean, we're in a very unique scenario with the market. And I do think we still have to just be ready and be on standby. We could definitely see something tonight. We could see something tomorrow. We could see something in May, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. Despite President Trump's calls for rate cuts, there is an 85% chance of no rate cut occurring in May, according to Kalshi. Fed Chair Powell most recently said he is not in a hurry to cut rates. Now, last time we heard from Powell, he was very neutral. He didn't give us much, but this was a good thing. I think he knew what he was doing. He didn't want to spook the markets. No matter what he said would have spooked the markets. But I think we could possibly begin to start to move up in May, possibly getting Fed bailouts. And we're not done with GameStop yet. We look at the option flow, okay? As traders reposition for May 16th expiration, we saw more of those $30 and $32 calls come in on GameStop. So people are still loading the boat. We just have more time, more of a buying opportunity, like I said. And if we do see a spark to ignite this move on GameStop, it's probably going to be some sort of rate cut in May or Fed bailout or something along the lines of that. A lot of times when we have this build up and then this curve down, this is a huge spring before we move higher. And there's no way I'm getting spooked out of my position just yet. Again, don't risk more than you're willing to lose. It could just drop from here. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. I can't tell you what to buy, hold, or sell. This is all in my opinion. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Now, Jim Cramer recommended staying away from AMC. I mean, you know what that means, right? I'll just leave it at that. Now, open interest on Bitcoin jumped over 16K last night. I want to briefly touch on Bitcoin. I think the next thing we're going to see is an announcement from Ryan Cohen stating when and how much they purchase Bitcoin. It's going to be very, very soon. Now, either bears are absolutely doubling down to avoid liquidations, or we're going to see another failed breakout before the next leg down on Bitcoin. And shout out to Luca over on X, but we see Bitcoin trading at 87,000, up 2% while the markets continue to bleed off. This is actually a beautiful thing to see. Now, again, like he said, this could just be a little fake out before the big leg down to sub 70K, or this could be the beginning of a move higher. And like I said, we are getting so close to May that it's looking more and more bullish coming into May 7th for an altcoin season to start, short squeezes to start, and us to see a 2021 summer all over again. And then on top of that, the global M2 money supply, people are saying, hey, Bitcoin's going to follow this, right? It always does, and we are very close, and it's a possibility, right? It's more likely than not. Now, we are seeing MicroStrategy 314.21. basically flat on the day. I still think this is making its way up to 360. We did hit 330. Moving on, Michael Saylor also bought 6,556 more Bitcoin worth $555 million. We talked a little bit about CAR in Discord. We had calls on this. And again, I don't think it's over. We're down 5.25% on this. This is a high risk, possible short squeeze play that is hugging the top of this channel. But I do want to warn you, if we're not here yet, we could have room to fall towards the bottom of this channel or just lower from here. Okay. Overall, the charts aren't looking great. If you want to cut your loss, cut your loss. This one was a miss for the Discord. If you took it, again, high risk, possible short squeeze scenario. And if we do see something, you could wait for confirmation for a breakout out of this channel, which would be a close above 85 on the daily and confirmation close above 85 on the weekly. Tesla, very briefly, 223.50. Tesla has earnings tomorrow. It's down 7% today. And a lot of stocks, including Nvidia, including other Magnificent Seven stocks, we scaled up. We kind of chop traded at these levels for a little bit. That way, to start this week, we had more room to fall down. Okay. And this is exactly a prime scenario with what you're seeing with Tesla. I don't really have a full-blown opinion on Tesla coming into earnings, but what I can say is we are testing a critical support range here. And if earnings don't come out that great, which is a hard possibility, Tesla's probably going to jump down to 183 in my personal opinion, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on that. Last but not least, the XRT ETF, the retail ETF that holds GameStop, is now sitting at a 580% short interest, which is absolutely disgusting. If you're not in my Discord server, make sure to press the top link in the description. Come join the Discord server, get your Top 1 Futures account with 50% off using code LOTTO, and then get your 60 free stocks. I will update that right now. And then I'm going to plug this in here for Moomoo. But that is it, guys. I love you all. God bless. Lottery stocks out. Moomoo, a free broker, zero commissions. Start with $0. Get access to customizable earnings calendars, viewing other exchanges, its heat map feature, those daily news updates that you need for stocks, and plenty more. But start with actual cash into your account, as in signing up through my link and depositing. Get up to 60 free stocks and earn 8.1% APY on cash that is sitting in your account uninvested whenever you're not trading. Plus the initial amount you put into your account, earn a 3% match on that up to $600. Yes, pre-market, post-market trading, trading options, going long, going short, fractional shares, all that good stuff. And a feature I personally like, Moomoo brought back the comment section under stocks. Obviously other tools, financial overview, so on and so on. Plenty of things that I did not list, but overall, tons of tools to help you and free stocks hooking me up as well as yourself. Press that link, open an account, and deposit into Moomoo now.